Welcome to our show, Hong Kong Brief. Today, we have a lineup of intriguing stories to keep you informed and entertained. Let's dive right in. First up, Swire Pacific is making bold moves by investing heavily in China, with Cathay Pacific planning a whopping 100 billion Hong Kong dollars spent on its fleet and lounges over the next 7 years. Swire Properties is also set to invest another 100 billion Hong Kong dollars in Hong Kong and China by 2032, showing their unwavering confidence in the region despite others de-risking. Their stock is holding steady, outperforming the Hang Seng Index and CK Hutchison's significant declines. Next, the Hong Kong Observatory has issued a warning for widespread heavy rains and squally thunderstorms expected to hit the city on Thursday. A broad trough of low pressure is bringing these showers and storms to the coast of southern China and the northern part of the South China Sea. So, keep those umbrellas handy as the city gears up for some wet and wild weather over the next few days, with particularly heavy showers anticipated on Friday. Lastly, Hong Kong stocks have made a surprising turnaround, reversing early losses to join a broader Asian rally. The Hang Seng Index added 0.4% after dropping as much as 1.1% earlier in the session. This surge comes as investors digest new Chinese property and economic data, offering signs of stabilization. Major gains were seen among mainland lenders, with China Merchants Bank, Industrial and Commercial Bank of China, and Bank of China leading the charge. Please stay tuned for the detailed coverage of these stories and more. Reuters breaking views: Swire, an Anglo-Asian conglomerate led by Chair Guy Bradley, is doubling down on its investments in China, focusing on airlines and properties while other companies de-risk. Swire Pacific, controlled by John Swire and Sons in London, spans diverse sectors from Hong Kong shopping malls to Coca-Cola bottling plants in China. Cathay Pacific, Swire's airline, plans to invest over 100 billion Hong Kong dollars, $12.8 billion, in fleet and airport lounges in the next 7 years. Swire Properties also announced a 100 billion Hong Kong dollars investment plan to double its commercial property portfolio in China by 2032, making it the most bullish foreign developer in the country's slumping property market. Despite the limited diversification options, Swire's stock performance has outpaced peers, giving the group reason for optimism. As China seeks foreign investment to boost its economy amid Sino-American trade tensions, Swire's deep-rooted presence and strategic investments position it well to navigate risks and reap potential returns. South China Morning Post: the Hong Kong Observatory has issued a warning for widespread heavy rains and squally thunderstorms expected to hit the city on Thursday. In a special weather tip released at 10:30 a.m., the forecaster alerted the public to be on guard as a broad trough of low pressure was bringing showers and thunderstorms to southern China and the northern part of the South China Sea. The observatory forecasted that the city would experience occasional showers and thunderstorms over the next few days, with heavy rainfall expected on Friday. The public is advised to stay alert and take necessary precautions to ensure safety during the adverse weather conditions. South China Morning Post: Hong Kong stocks rallied, reversing early losses, as investors responded to Chinese economic data suggesting stabilization. The Hang Seng Index rose 0.4% to 17,174.18, with notable gains among mainland lenders such as China Merchants Bank and Industrial and Commercial Bank of China. Fresh housing data indicated a slower decline in new home prices, while retail sales and industrial production showed signs of improvement. Despite these gains, some tech giants like Tencent and Alibaba saw declines due to concerns over slow fintech revenue growth and upcoming earnings reports. Asian markets also reacted positively to soft U.S. inflation data, with indices in Australia, Japan, and South Korea posting gains. Meanwhile, companies like Samsonite and CK Infrastructure Holdings are considering secondary listings overseas to attract investors and enhance liquidity amid a sluggish local market. South China Morning Post: The issue of drug wastage in Hong Kong's public hospitals has come under scrutiny following a case where a merchant sold laxative medication online, raising questions about whether patients are receiving more medication than necessary. Dr. Herbert Kwok Wan-chun from the Public Doctors Association noted that patients with stable chronic diseases often receive enough medication for up to a year to avoid frequent hospital visits. This practice, while convenient for patients, leads to concerns about unused medications. Hospital authority has introduced measures like a drug refill service to mitigate wastage, but further steps, such as utilizing community pharmacies, are suggested to better manage medication distribution and avoid excess. South China Morning Post: Rolex celebrated 50 years of motorsport excellence at the Rolex Monterey Motorsports Reunion, held annually at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. The event, which began in 1974, brings together motorsport legends and vintage cars, creating a vibrant atmosphere of historic racing. Esteemed figures like Sir Jackie Stewart, who has a long-standing relationship with Rolex, and other racing icons such as Mark Webber, Tom Christensen, Jenson Button, and Jamie Chadwick, have all contributed to the event's storied history. The reunion not only highlights the precision and engineering excellence of motorsport but also showcases Rolex's enduring commitment to the sport and its rich heritage. South China Morning Post: The South Lantau Eco-Recreation Corridor project in Hong Kong aims to balance development with conservation, promoting ecotourism and sustainable recreation. The public consultation revealed divided opinions among stakeholders, including legislative members and conservationists. Concerns include the potential influx of tourists who might harm the natural environment and the financial constraints faced by the government. The project could benefit from adopting models like Bali's eco-resorts, which prioritize sustainability. Public-private partnerships and innovative planning, such as a design competition, could help create a unique and harmonious development that respects South Lantau's natural beauty while boosting tourism and local engagement. South China Morning Post: Hong Kong CK Infrastructure Holdings has received approval from the UK's Financial Conduct Authority for a secondary listing on the London Stock Exchange, with shares expected to start trading on August 19 under the ticker symbol CKI. The listing aims to benefit its diverse shareholder base and enhance the company's profile, particularly as the UK accounts for 36% of its earnings in 2023. CK Infrastructure recently reported a 2% rise in half-yearly earnings and announced a £350 million deal to acquire 32 onshore wind farms in the UK, marking its third renewable energy purchase in the country this year. This follows its acquisition of Phoenix Energy for £757 million in April and UU Solar for £90.8 million in May, further expanding its footprint in the UK's energy sector. South China Morning Post: Experts in Hong Kong are calling for a review of the drug distribution and regulatory system to combat the illegal resale of heavily subsidized medicine from public hospitals. This follows an incident where a pregnant woman purchased a laxative from an online platform that carried a label from a public hospital. Health authorities are investigating the case, which could result in a 100,000 Hong Kong dollars fine and 2 years in jail. The sale of drugs in Hong Kong is regulated by the Pharmacy and Poisons Ordinance, but the resale of hospital-prescribed drugs is not explicitly outlawed. Advocates suggest limiting the amount of drugs dispensed and ensuring traceability and quality control. The issue gained attention when COVID-19 antiviral pills were resold online at high prices. Authorities are urged to work with community pharmacies to allow refills and improve patient education on the risks of improper drug storage and resale. The Sydney Morning Herald: Bridget Brennan, a rising star at the ABC, has been appointed co-host of the network's flagship morning program, News Breakfast. Brennan, who joined the ABC in 2010 and has held various roles including National Indigenous Correspondent and Europe Correspondent, will take over from Lisa Miller on August 23. Brennan is known for her advocacy on Indigenous issues and made headlines in 2020 for criticizing the lack of Indigenous voices on a current affairs panel. Miller, who joined the ABC in the early 1990s, faced online abuse during the COVID-19 pandemic, which affected her role. News Breakfast, currently the third-ranked morning show, saw a significant viewership increase during the pandemic but has since experienced a decline. Brennan's appointment is seen as a move to revitalize the program as morning TV competition intensifies. South China Morning Post, SM Investments Corp., a powerhouse conglomerate from the Philippines, views China as a land of vast opportunities despite ongoing economic challenges and strained diplomatic relations. The group, helmed by the nation's wealthiest family, is keen on boosting occupancy rates and expanding its retail footprint in China. Franklin Gomez, the executive vice president, highlighted that China's 1.4 billion-strong consumer market remains a formidable force. SM Prime, the group's property arm, owns 8 malls in China's lower-tier cities, boasting an average occupancy rate of 85%. Despite the economic slowdown and prolonged property crisis, the conglomerate remains optimistic about its selective expansion strategy, focusing on secondary and tertiary cities. Founded by Xiamen-born billionaire Henry Tsai SNR, SM Investments continues to thrive, recently raising $500 million through an offshore bond offering. SCMP opinion, the global race for talent is fierce, and Hong Kong's Top Talent Pass scheme, which initially favored graduates from the top 100 universities, is under scrutiny. Chief Secretary Eric Chan Kwok Ki acknowledges that many prestigious institutions in specific fields are excluded from this list, potentially depriving the city of valuable talent. The government is considering expanding the scheme to include graduates from such institutions, including some from mainland China. Despite receiving over 340,000 applications and granting 210,000 visas, only 140,000 individuals have relocated to Hong Kong. This discrepancy highlights the need for a broader approach to attract and retain talent. The government aims to balance the city's needs in innovation, technology, and healthcare with effective competition in the global talent market. South China Morning Post, Congressman Jim Banks has called for a Pentagon investigation into Minnesota Governor Tim Walz's travels to China during his tenure in the National Guard, questioning compliance with foreign travel reporting requirements. Banks suggests that Walz, who visited China around 30 times, may not have disclosed these trips, posing a potential security risk. Walz, who speaks some Mandarin, first traveled to China in 1989 and later founded a company organizing student trips there. Despite Banks' concerns, Walz has a record of scrutinizing Beijing's human rights practices and was the only House Democrat to co-sponsor the Hong Kong Human Rights and Democracy Act of 2017. The call for investigation comes amid heightened Sino-American tensions, with differing views on the value of engagement with China. Analysts argue that Walz's extensive experience with China could inform sharper policies towards Beijing, although his influence on foreign policy remains uncertain. South China Morning Post. Calling Gladiator too highly anticipated would be quite an understatement. There's the popularity of director Ridley Scott's original, of course, but given the sequel's star-studded cast, internet boyfriends Paul Mescal and Pedro Pascal, alongside Denzel Washington and Joseph Quinn, fans' expectations are sky-high. Interestingly, the Costa Rican actress who played Maximus' wife in Gladiator, Johnina Facio, ended up marrying Scott 15 years later. But they actually started dating even before Gladiator, and Facio has since appeared in many of her husband's works. She also co-produced Scott's House of Gucci, Tristan and Isolde, and Matchstick Men. Johnina Facio Franco was born on September 10, 1955, in San Jose to Costa Rica's former Minister of Foreign Affairs, the late wealthy diplomat and lawyer, Gonzalo Facio, and his second wife, Ana Franco Calzia. She has 2 sisters, Anna Catalina and Carla Fazio, and 3 half-siblings from her father's former marriage, Sandra, Alda, and Romulo Fazio. Among her siblings, Alda is a prominent feminist writer and human rights activist. Fazio got her start in the entertainment industry in Italy during the 1980s, quickly rising to fame with works like Antonello Grimaldi's Il Cielo è sempre più blu and Enrico Oldoini's Vacanze di Natale 90. Despite her successful acting career in Italy, Fazio told Vulture that she absolutely hated it and never liked being on that side of the camera. In 1980, Fazio was linked to Philippe Junot, who was married to Princess Caroline of Monaco, and was spotted with him on a yacht in the Mediterranean, sparking rumors that she was a reason for the royal couple's divorce. Fazio also reportedly dated legendary Spanish singer-songwriter Julio Iglesias. Spanish media reported that while she was in a relationship with Iglesias, she was also linked to another famous Spanish singer, Miguel Bos, who dedicated 2 of his songs to her. Fazio made headlines in 1984 when she was detained at the Barcelona El Prat airport for trying to leave Spain carrying 343,000 pesetas. House of Gucci was Fazio's passion project that spanned 24 years, and she claimed that her husband almost didn't take it on multiple times due to script and casting issues. South China Morning Post. The much-anticipated Season 4 of Netflix's Emily in Paris premiered this week, and a handsome new face has joined the cast. After Alfie, aka Lucien Laviscount, dumped Emily at the end of the last season, Italian actor Eugenio Franceschini looks like he might be the latest potential love interest of Lily Collins' Emily. So just who is Eugenio Franceschini? Here's what you need to know about the Verona-born 32-year-old. In Italy, Franceschini is best known as a television actor who's been in shows such as Medici and Non mi lasciare, and starred in rom-coms such as Sapore di Te and Maldamore, for which he won the Guglielmo Baraghi Award at the Italian National Syndicate of Film Journalists. In April, Franceschini was spotted laughing with co-star Lily Collins on the Emily in Paris set in Rome. Netflix described Franceschini's character in the show, Marcello, as direct, confident, and valuing simplicity. He's substantive but never flashy, the short bio reads, true to the roots of his family's company, implying he might be the scion to an Italian fashion house. Franceschini's father, theater actor Johnny Franceschini, taught the budding performer everything he knows. Johnny and his wife also ran a theater company called Viva Opera Circus, with a young Eugenio taking on several lead roles in productions. When you go onto Franceschini's Instagram page, you might notice a reel of him with a young child in his arms. The actor is believed to have met his partner on the set of the film Medici, and their son was reportedly born in January 2018. This month Franceschini also stars in the short drama A Deer Died Here. He shared a promotional poster for the film on Instagram, writing, "The event is part of the Cinemoving 2024 traveling cinema project in collaboration with the Comune di Venezia." South China Morning Post. It's been over a decade since Kanye West rudely interrupted a then 19-year-old Taylor Swift at the 2009 Grammys during her awards acceptance speech, and the rapper is still name-dropping her in his songs. In his new track, Lifestyle, Demo, Kim Kardashian's ex raps, "I twist my Taylor spliffs tight at the end like Travis Kelce," referring to Swift's current boyfriend, who's an American football tight end for the Kansas City Chiefs of the NFL. And while it wasn't exactly a diss, Swifties are well aware that the era's tour billionaire and West haven't always seen eye to eye, in fact, far from it. Unsurprisingly, the NFL player's dad was having none of it. Ed Kelce took to Facebook to reshare an article that talks about how West's song mentions Swift and Travis, writing, "mental illness on full display," as the caption. Ed talked about how he grew up in Collinwood, Cleveland, and was the oldest of 2 children. "Blue-collar town, blue-collar part of Cleveland, great neighborhood," he shared. "It was a lot of fun." While his sons would go on to become all-star athletes, Ed's background is in the steel industry. According to his interview with the Los Angeles Times, he was a sales rep who sold products to manufacturers, and sometimes, he'd even bring his kids to work. I'd take them there, hard hat, safety glasses, boots, the whole 9 yards, he told the publication. I'd tell them, you can have a job like your mother's, or you can have a job like mine. On the Brothers podcast, he also revealed that he had worked part-time at a sweet shop so he could afford gifts for his family during Christmas time. I had 2 kids that I was crazy about, he said, referring to the reasoning behind taking an additional job. Following 25 years of marriage, the Kelsey brothers' parents split up after their sons' college graduations, but remain on good terms. Ed and Donna Kelsey have 2 children together, Jason and Travis Kelsey. They are also proud grandparents to their 3 granddaughters, Wyatt, Elliot, and Bennett, from their son Jason's marriage to Kylie McDevitt Kelsey. It's pretty clear that Ed approves of his son's talented girlfriend. In an interview with the Sydney Morning Herald earlier this year, he was quick to sing her praises. She's probably the most famous person in the world, but she doesn't seem like it, he said. She's so warm and so gracious. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.
Turn on the screen, monster screaming. Empty smiles, their words misleading. Power games in darkened rooms. Spend their lives to seal our doom. Oh, oh, oh. Turn on the screen, monster screaming. Empty smiles, their words misleading. Our games in darkened rooms. Spend their lives to seal our doom. They talk about freedom, justice, fate. Behind their walls, shadows take. Puppeteers with strings of steel. Promises broken, tears they conceal. We're just numbers in their cold hands. Fight the castles built on sand. Rise up now, reclaim the night of their truth and blinding light. Oh, elections and deals in the dark. Voices lost in power's arc. Leaders laugh while we cry.